Hey everyone, this is Cholera with set 4 of this best of 7 series. This is going to be a long series, I think, for me to cast. So hopefully my voice doesn't go. This is 815 versus Hyuk. That is right, the Hyuk. Hyuk actually played this game before he played that MSL series, which I assume you guys have all watched, so I will spoil it. Remember how he managed to get his way into the MSL round of 32? Well, he managed to get himself out of that pretty quickly also. He made it to the final game. He did knock out Cal in the process. That was pretty impressive, I gotta say. But then he pretty epically failed against Luxury in a rather long ZVZ. I'm surprised at how badly Luxury won that battle at the end, to be honest. But, anything can happen in StarCraft, and Hyuk can certainly happen too. Hyuk, on the right there, always a pretty intense-looking fellow, I gotta say. He is 40% against Zerg, whereas 815, I believe, is 7 and 6. So, no, I'm sorry, 6 and 5 rather. He's statistically a little bit better, but with small sample sizes, you really can't say. But, the thing with Hyuk is, I don't hate Hyuk for all those people who say, why do you hate Hyuk so much? He's not that bad. He's just got a funny name. That's all. I mean, Backhoe started off being a joke because he had a funny name. And English commentators, we don't have a choice. We don't know what they're saying in Korean. We don't know their personalities. We can't watch their interviews where they talk about themselves. What we get is the couple of things we can get from Korean translations, translations from Korean interviews and stuff, and those usually aren't that common either. So to try to make games interesting when there's a bunch of B-level players playing, the best way to do it is to make fun of their names and their faces. And I do plenty of both. So it's a service to you guys, basically. Anyway, 815 at the bottom. Hyuk at the upper right. Tau Cross resurrected for this season's Pro League. So in the Winners League right now, Tau Cross, a 3-player map. Old school map, kind of like the Longinus. That same era. 3 spawn points at the upper right, lower right, and upper left. And it's got a narrow choke point leading to the natural expansion, which has got a little bit of a wider choke point leading to the rest of the world. And that guy is pretty fruity. Fruity tooty. It's a pretty fun map, I gotta say. I especially like it for Zerg versus Terran because that beautiful natural expansion sort of space behind the natural expansion, it makes it perfect for Muleless Harass, and it's just a beautiful thing to do there. Even if you're bad at Muleless Harass, Tau Cross makes you good at it, is my theory. Anyway, wow, that guy's a douchebag. What a tool. See, that's the same thing. There's nothing going on, so I'm just calling him a tool because he's covering his face and he's a dude. Anyway, gas first here for 815. He's gone gas first. We've seen this a lot from players, and meanwhile, a 12 pool here from Hyuk. So Hyuk is going to be expanding here. 12 pool, 11 gas. Standard Zerg versus Zerg expansion build. So, we're going to see a big gas advantage here, a very big one for 815. And on the other hand, though, he's going to be working off of much less of an economy. I think he went 9 extractor and then over pool, or something close to that. And there's expansion about to go down for Hyuk. So this is definitely a divergent series of builds here. And Hyuk looks like he's going to be mining some gas. A little bit confusing there. It's just started mining his gas. Meanwhile, 815 is going to be able to go lair right away after the pool is done. And right away afterwards get his speedlings out. So, interesting enough, he's actually building drones there. Interesting. He might have to build a sunken colony then, because if Hyuk finds out, he's going to start building some lings and start moving over there. Maybe Hyuk is going to be a little bit more defensive, thinking that with the earlier pool. Well, actually, neither player can think anything, because Hyuk has not scouted him yet. So, I am in crack. We are seeing a creep colony, though, just in case. Hyuk has not scouted him, rather. 815 has scouted Hyuk, so 815 knows there was a 12 pool. But 815 decided to just focus on drones. That's going to help him get his second hatch out, which I assume will be made in the main. There is the second hatch, so it's going to help him get that very quickly. And therefore, he's not going to be behind on economy for a long time. Of course, the moment when he starts getting behind is if Hyuk survives past Mutalisk for a little while and then gets his second gas up. That is when the tides of the gas war is going to start changing here. So Hyuk spots a sunken colony. We'll see if Hyuk panics a little bit here. There's many ways for you to panic here. One of the best ways is to get a lot of Zerglings and make an ill-timed Zergling attack. And sometimes it works, but usually that is what the player who's gone for the earlier attack expects the most, is that big Zergling attack. And with modern day drone and Zergling micro, it is very hard to pull off. So that sunken colony is actually placed at an interesting position there. Interesting as in a little bit bad, I gotta say. I'm surprised that he didn't build his hatchery above where the lair is right now and build his sunken colony in between the mineral lines and his second hatch, or in between the mineral lines and his lair. That would be the standard Zerg base positioning, but instead he's gotten this wall. I guess what this does is it makes his sunken colony very, very difficult to surround. But Hyuk looks like he is going to be going for a lot of Zerglings, so we'll see if he manages to break this. On the other hand, though, like I was saying, it's not a great position for protecting your drones, because I think at least that top drone is going to be vulnerable. There we go. We see him being vulnerable there, and he might be able to pick something off. No, Hyuk fails. Stops mining for a second, and that was it. Meanwhile, the Spire is more than halfway done, I think, or very close to done there for 815. 815 is going to have that Spire done, and it's going to produce a couple of mutas. He might be able to get there before, but no, actually, Hyuk actually has a Spire in good order too. He's got good timing for the Spire also, so he might not actually be able to get there and do much damage before Hyuk gets some Scourge up or gets some Mutalisks up. Hyuk has one drone not mining, that's good. Now he has resumed mining, that's very important. That'd be a little bit of an embarrassing way to lose. So Hyuk is now getting creep colonies again. This happened in his game against Luxury the other night, and it didn't work in the game against Luxury. Luxury also basically did the same thing 815 did. Actually, it looks like 815 and Luxury probably have been practicing the same build, because they did the same thing, going for that early gas, and then forcing Hyuk to go for a couple of spore colonies. So he did have to get those spore colonies after all, and that's going to hurt his economy a lot, just like it did that other night. It allowed Luxury actually to get a third hatch up pretty safely. So we'll see if 815 does that also. I mean, given the way that they've been playing so far, the